The quantum timer starts now. A public quantum bounty was recently claimed after a researcher successfully cracked a 15-bit elliptic curve key using current hardware. While Bitcoin's 256-bit security remains structurally sound, this proof of concept confirms that the math governing your private keys has an expiration date. Google's March 2026 white paper estimated that a machine with just 1/200 logical qubits could derive a private key from a public address in under 9 minutes. This is no longer a theoretical physics problem, it is a race against engineering. The challenge is that current post-quantum signature standards are too large for the Bitcoin block space. To protect the ledger without breaking the network, developers are moving beyond simple encryption swaps toward a mechanism called the SHRINCS protocol. The 8-kilobyte signature problem. The primary defense against Quantum Shore's algorithm is hash-based cryptography, specifically the NIST-standardized SLHDSA. The engineering trade-off is brutal. Standard Bitcoin signatures are 64 bytes, but a stateless quantum-resistant signature can exceed 8 kilobytes. If Bitcoin simply swapped to these today, transaction throughput would collapse to a fraction of its current capacity. This is why the SHRINCS protocol exists. It represents a hybrid approach, combining stateful and stateless mechanisms to bring signature sizes down to roughly 324 bytes. Think of it as a tiered security system. It uses highly compressed signatures for daily operations, while keeping the bulky stateless signatures as a recovery fallback if your device state is lost. Statefulness and localized risk. The SHRINCS design introduces a concept that purists might find controversial: statefulness. To achieve its small signature size, the protocol requires a signing device to track how many times it has signed with a specific key. If a user signs twice with the same stateful leaf, the security of the entire UTXO is compromised. Skeptics argue this creates a new failure mode, where a software bug or a bad backup results in stolen funds. However, Blockstream's implementation on the Liquid network mitigates this by allowing a stateless fallback. It essentially converts a systemic risk, where a quantum computer can attack any address on the network, into a localized risk, where the owner is responsible for managing their signing state. This engineering choice prioritizes block space efficiency over the traditional simplicity of stateless keys. The roadmap to Mainnet. Mainnet integration is not a matter of if, but how. In May 2026, research into the OPCHECK-SHRINCS opcode provided the first concrete look at how this could be deployed via a soft fork. Because this protection is opt-in, it avoids the friction of a mandatory hard fork that would force every user to migrate. We are seeing the first production deployments of SHRINCS on the Liquid sidechain today, where users can already lock funds into quantum-resistant contracts using the simplicity language. A new Brink grant issued on June 1, 2026, is now funding the development of a formal BIP to standardize these hash-based signatures for the broader Bitcoin network. This staging process allows the community to stress test the state management on sidechains before touching the primary ledger. The signal under the noise. The transition to a post-quantum Bitcoin represents the most significant architectural shift in the protocol's history, moving the ledger security from elliptic curves to hash-based trees. By utilizing the SHRINCS protocol, the network is attempting to solve the 8-kilobyte signature problem without sacrificing the decentralization of nodes, as seen in the trade-offs between statefulness and stateless fallback. For engineers and operators, the takeaway is clear. The current ECC-based address model is being treated as a legacy system with a terminal date. The shift to quantum-resistant addresses will likely be an opt-in migration that redefined property rights for inactive or lost coins, as seen in the debate over BIP 361 and the potential for a signature sunset. This is not just a cryptographic upgrade, it is a structural redesign of how Bitcoin maintains its status as an immutable ledger over a 100-year horizon. Watch the progression of the SHRINCS BIP draft over the next 6 months as the primary indicator for Bitcoin's technical readiness. Subscribe for more